Here's a story from the Tzemach Tzedek, the third Rebbe of Chabad. Once there was a Chassid that was being evicted from his inn. He had rented an inn, and times were bad. The weather was bad. And he didn't have any customers, and he needed a lot of money. His daughter was getting married. Anyway, desperately needed money. So he didn't know what to do. He had no recourse. None of his friends had any money. Nobody had anything. And the paritz, whatever, the landowner was very cruel. He wanted his money, was very demanding. So he went to the Tzemach Tzedek. So the Tzemach Tzedek wrote a letter for him, a recommendation, and he put it in an envelope, wrote in the envelope who to bring it to, and that's it. So this Chassid said, "Thank you very much." He was very happy. He looked one outside, and the envelope was addressed to a Chassid called Shmuel Hakatan, Shmuel the small one, little Shmuel, little Samuel. So he said, the Chassid only looked after a while, so he said, "This must be a big mistake." To take the letter to Shmuel Hakatan is a mistake. There's another Shmuel which is called Big Shmuel. Big Samuel. Big Samuel was a rich man, a very rich man, very influential, very important. And even though this Chassid had no connection with him, but if you received a letter from the Tzemach Tzedek telling him to help, so for sure it'll help. So he decided maybe he should go back to the Tzemach Tzedek and tell him that he made a mistake. But on the other hand, he thought, come on, Rebbe doesn't make mistakes. Rebbe is not like us. He doesn't make mistakes. I make mistakes. My wife makes mistakes. Even though my rabbi makes mistakes. But the Tzemach Tzedek doesn't make any mistakes. The Tzemach Tzedek is a prophet. A prophet. The Rebbes of Chabad were all prophets. Everything they said, telling the future, etc., they were always right. So I can't. So I said, okay, I'll go. So he went to his wife, and he said to his wife, "What do you think?" She said, "Listen, the Rebbe doesn't make mistakes. If you wrote, you have to go to Shmuel Hakatan, to little Shmuel's house, then you have to go." So he goes to little Shmuel's house. He goes over there, and he figures, little Shmuel will say, "I'm sorry, you got the wrong address." Oh, he goes over, and this little Samuel, little Shmuel, he looks, says, the Tzemach Tzedek says to me, he sends a letter to me, saying to me, let's see what's inside. It says, do whatever you can to have an effect on the landowner that he should not evict this man standing in front of you. So the Shmuel said, well, I can't understand what the Rebbe, I have no connection to the landowner. What's it good? But the Rebbe never makes mistakes. You know what? Stay by me for a couple of days and we'll see. Maybe something will work out. The Rebbe doesn't make. So he says, yeah, I know the Rebbe doesn't make mistakes. I already heard that about 15 times, 20 times. My wife told me, everybody tells me, but I mean, I'm going to be evicted from my place and something has to be done quickly. And this big Samuel, he says, sure, big Samuel, he could probably help you, but he's got the money, he's got the power, he's got this, but that's not what it says over here. And I know, the Rebbe doesn't make mistakes. So I sit over. So he sits by this Shmuel Hakatan, and he waits there for a day, for 2 days, 3 days. What's going to be? On the fourth day, all of a sudden, starts a terrible storm outside. A storm with snow, and it's cold, and it's windy. It just puts the hero of our story into just a terrible mood. Everything is dark outside, and it's all miserable, and he feels miserable, and all this impending doom is hanging over his head. What's he going to do? And the days are passing by. As he's sitting there thinking, in his misery, there's a knock on the door. Help, help. Shmuel Hakatan goes to the door, opens it up, and there's this very rich, a goy, a non-Jew. He looks like he's, very rich. He was in a carriage, He looks outside, says, please, it's cold outside. I don't know where I am. I wasn't prepared for this storm. And the Shmuel Katan says, sure, no problem. Here, take your horse, put him in the stall. Take the horse, put him in the stall. The stall will also be warm. Sit down, have I'll put it in the stall. Sit down, have something warm to drink. So he sits down, the person sits and he's sitting there for the storm. He has to sleep there the whole night. The next day, the storm goes away. And the little Shmuel Katan, he says, oh, the storm is gone away. The rich person says, listen, I'm so grateful to you. You really helped me a lot. I was in a really bad state. Can I do anything for you? You want money? You want anything? I mean, I can make a nicer house for you. I can important. All of a sudden, the Shmuel Katan, he starts to think. He says, one second. He said, do you know the rich landowner, Grabinski, whatever? He says, Grabinski, of course, he's my friend. What's the problem? He says, well, he's evicting my best friend. He says, what? Why is he doing that? Because he can't pay his. He said, oh, Grabinski is doing that? Really? He's evicting him? Yeah. He says, listen, just leave it up to me. I'll get in touch with him. Everything's going to be fixed up. He said, he can go back right now. We're best friends, bosom friends. Me and Grabinski, best friends. We go hunting together. We play cards together. I said, well, this is very amazing. Come with me. Come with me. He takes our hero with him. They immediately go to Grabinski's house, Count Grabinski, whatever it says, see this man. Yeah, he doesn't pay me. He says, listen, he's my friend. He's my friend. He's a friend of my friend. What are you talking about? He's a Jew. What is that? Listen, take my word for it. We're friends, right? I would mislead you. Do me a favor. Let him stay. He's a good person. You'll see, you'll get a blessing in your place. Okay, I'll let him stay. It changed the whole thing. No, big miracle. It ended up that because he was by his house, specifically this person came. Afterwards, it became known to him that this big Shmuel, he and the Grabinski Count, they were big enemies. They hated each other. They hated each other's guts. He was nothing whatsoever that he could have possibly done that would have convinced Grabinski to do anything that he wanted. Big Shmuel. So if he would have gone to Big Shmuel's house, it would have been totally the opposite of a success. And the Rebbe told him what he told him to do. So it comes as a lesson to us that when the Rebbe tells us to do something, is even though it doesn't seem that there's going to be any connection between one or the other, and it seems the opposite, but nevertheless it always works. And the example that I always bring up is that in 1987, I think it was, right, the Lubavitcher Rebbe said that if we make Chabad houses all over the world, that all of the Jews will be free to leave Russia. And no one had any idea what the Rebbe was talking about. What possible connection could there be? But the Hasidim did. I also did. I opened up a Chabad house in a city that's right nearby. And amazingly, miraculously, what was in 1990, 1991, all of a sudden it opened up. All of the gates of the communism fell, the Iron Curtain fell. What's the connection one to the other? I don't know. But it's the same thing with going to small, little Shmuel. It was exactly the right thing to be done. So when the Rebbe's to say to do something, the advice is always practical. And you say, overturning the bad and revealing some sort of new good we never dreamed existed. Have a good day with Mashiach now. See you all, God willing, tomorrow.